Hi everyone, welcome back to Spiritual Growth Tarot. I'm Denise and this reading is for Thursday, November 12th. Okay, so tuning into the forces of love. Let's find out what we need to know for the day in order to grow and evolve and be happy. Okay, wow, they're all reversed. It's okay, we'll read it both ways and figure out what's going on. Okay, so we have Ten of Cups reversed for the theme, Ace of Cups reversed, along with the Seven of Wands reversed. And I can tell already I'm going to have to use these cards, so let me shuffle them while I talk about the theme here with the Ten of Cups reversed. It has to do with some unhappiness, some lack of fulfillment, in the family area. So we are headed towards, Thanksgiving, and it very well may be giving us clues as to how do we hold our happy family together, or how do we create a happy family even though we're probably going to be needing to set really strong, healthy boundaries with the Seven of Wands reversed. This card is all about healthy boundaries. And I don't know if you guys came from a dysfunctional childhood like I did, but I mean, and I don't know if any of you are ever familiar with Jim Carrey's work on In Living Color and the dysfunctional family, what was it called, Home Show or something, those little skits. Mine wasn't that bad, but it was bordering on that. And the characters were different. The alcoholic was my mother, and but I didn't have like a prostitute sister, but anyway, they're hilarious skits, but they do show that alcoholism and drug addiction is just a part of our human existence that we need to overcome. So if there's somebody in your family who, and we had this card for yesterday's reading as well, except for it was straight up, and then we had other reversals. But I get clearly that the guidance with the Ten of Cups reversed here has to do with being the one that is responsible for creating the happy family within yourself. That you can't give that away to anybody else. You can't say, Dad has to make Mom stop drinking. Mom has to make Dad stop raging. We have to get together just because it's not Halloween, what am I saying? We have to get together on Thanksgiving because that's a family tradition, and even though we have COVID, raging around us, we still have to get together somehow. Like, how do we figure that out? Maybe this year you don't need to do that. Maybe this year it can be about protecting your own little happy family, and when we don't have to succumb to the so-called morals of the past or the way things were. Because when we have the Ten of Cups reversed, there's a misalignment of values here. It's one of the things that you really have to get, clearly inside of this card. There's a misalignment of family values. So as adults, we get to create our own value system, and then we get to teach our parents or other family members, like if you have a drunk uncle or if you have whatever, you get to set your healthy boundaries. Now, when the Seven of Wands is straight up, I mean, just look at that. She's in her protective pink love bubble, and there's no need to defend against it. It just is. And you have your healthy boundaries. You take a stand where you need to. So when she comes through, or the Seven of Wands comes through, reversed, that shows me that there's a need for healthy boundaries in order for you to have that happy, loving place. So that's a challenge because in the realm of wands, we're dealing with ego fragments, ego issues. The task is for our pure, beautiful spirit to shine through. And that is much, much bigger than our personality ego. And our ego fragments, well, that's what brought us into the families that we have incarnated through. I mean, I believe we choose our parents. We choose a family to incarnate into so that they can, yeah, it's painful, but like re-traumatize us and re-wound us in a way that helps us to feel the pain, find the false beliefs, and process it all through, and then come back to ourselves. So it's a process of soul retrieval work that happens every time we do that. And it's layer by layer, it's a spiraling in. And you do it until you're done. And and you're not done until you're done. It's just the way it is. And you cannot judge yourself for how many times you may have to revisit it. So that's the thing. So if you have any bit of a dysfunctional family, a misalignment of values, a broken home, broken marriage, and there's manipulation going on, like fighting over the kids, who's going to visit, who's, whatever. Are the kids going to go visit all the people, which could take them on a, well, I remember those days, like an all-day thing where you're visiting so many different families. But now with COVID, that might not be safe. And there might be some family members that you don't want to visit anymore because you've been through hell and back with them since this whole, last 4-year fiasco with, we know who the Trump lovers are, and maybe we don't want to hang out with them. And maybe we do, maybe there's some who are respectful and they can definitely, love you anyway, even though you don't agree. And that's fine. Then those are the family members you hang out with. Those are the ones you keep. And you keep your love for the other ones too, but you don't necessarily have to give your time and energy to them if they're just going to call you names or put you down or come at you with a forcing current of how right they are and how wrong you are. That's where you set a healthy boundary. So I think that's what these cards are that's what they're speaking to. So now I'm going to bring them upright so that we can look at what it's like coming from a healthy perspective. So a healthy perspective is that you have such strong boundaries that is what creates a happy, healthy family. And then you just keep opening your heart more and more and more. And if more boundaries need to come in, that's okay. That's fine. But you take that stand because no matter what, you protect the children first and you protect the family, the structure of the family first. That's the most important. And like I said in the reading for yesterday, it came through really strongly that we need to remember that if we're the more evolved, the most loving, or more loving, a little more loving, and we're more, we have stronger boundaries and more loving, open-hearted, and we've done our soul work, we are more responsible for the relationship. So that means sometimes you have to say no, and you have to set a healthy boundary. And then they learn from you what they can and cannot get away with, and you teach them who you are. And you also teach them how to love themselves better, actually, as well. So, okay, so let me draw some cards from the Spirit Animal Oracle and see what we have. Oh, that's really beautiful. Okay. Wow. I love it when we get birds together. Interesting. So, Crow Spirit is all about manifesting and spiritual law, manifesting through spiritual law. And the spiritual law is just to remember that you do co-create with the spiritual realm, because that's where you hail from. That's your original home. And here on Earth, the task is to always remember that you can still do that here, but it takes longer because we have Saturn, ruling our limitations on Earth, and we do live, we are unitive beings, and we do live on a dualistic planet. So we cannot really rise above the the duality, unless we go to the place where we realize, oh yeah, there's good and bad. There's right and wrong. There's pleasure and pain. We can win and we can lose. And there's, life and what seems to be death. When we're in that dualistic place of the either or realm, then we're putting ourselves in the place where we think, okay, if I'm bad, that means I'm completely not good. Or if I'm wrong, that means I'm just not right at all. And the truth is that we're so we have so many parts to ourselves. So we just have to love ourselves through these challenging times, and to do our best to create win-win situations in relationship when you can. Sometimes it means it's really painful and you have to walk away, for the time being, and love them from afar. But these cards here are speaking to the process of surrendering, into the present moment. Like, find that happy, loving family within you. Find that place where you have reparented yourself through the painful past, and you are your own healthy mom and dad. And that you can hold that space for yourself as you hold boundaries to protect the children that you have, or the loving family that you have, even if that loving family is only you all by yourself in your house, or your apartment, or your studio apartment, or, if you're all alone. Even if you're in a homeless shelter, you can have the happy family within yourself when you find your healthy boundaries and the place where you will go into your protective love for yourself. And let your higher self, it's saying, let Spirit, let your higher self be your guide. So if you don't feel safe, if you've come into this situation for Thanksgiving, or for planning the holidays, or even if it's just for today, and you're feeling upside down with what it feels like to have a happy family, and you can't find your healthy boundary, and you also can't find your love, all you ever need to do is just surrender to all the pain that is happening now, and go into it. Allow yourself to feel it, and then love yourself through it. As you're sobbing your heart out, if that's what happens, just let it be. Let whatever is inside of you come through and help you to heal. And know that your higher self is with you all the time. It can't leave you. It can't leave you because it's who you are, and it's inside of you. It's inside of every cell in your body. So to remember that. Just remember that. Just remember that your love will guide you. And surrendering into the now is always the way to go. And your spirit, your spiritual essence, the highest, from the highest realms of love and light, that's where you come from. And your guides come from, and they're always with you. They can't leave you either. It's like, they're your parents, or they're your parents. They're your true parents. Even though if you had to incarnate into some, family situation that doesn't feel loving at all, you can still heal that within. And you can also, when we do that, we help them to heal as well. Even if we don't have anything, any connection with them anymore. If it was some atrocity, like if it was some terrible atrocity, like rape or incest, or, the atrocities that happen in families. Even like if one parent killed another parent, those things happen. If it's that, just know that if you just grieve for whatever needs to be grieved in your past, that you can bring it all through, and that the eternal now comes through you. The eternal love that you are comes through you, and it does help you create healthy boundaries. And then you can just surrender to let your guides help you into whatever new direction it is. But it's always being present with what's going on inside of you now. And then every moment there's a new now. So there's that. So, okay, I think that's all I have for today. And, except for this one other little note, that today it's Jupiter conjunct Pluto exact, and it's at 22 degrees Capricorn. So wherever that is in your natal chart, if you know your natal, astrological birth map, whatever house that falls in there, you could have the houses, are about different areas of our lives. You could have a big expansion of some powerful evolution that comes through, because Pluto's all about transformation. And in Capricorn, it would be transforming something in your physical realm, it's very tangible, physical, like finances and resources, anything to do with manifesting in this world. There can be some big, powerful change that comes in for the better with Jupiter there, because Jupiter is one of the builders. Jupiter and Saturn are the builders of the zodiac, and Saturn's been in Capricorn. It's moving towards Aquarius right now, so it's kind of gone past the conjunction. But Jupiter and Pluto are excellent for breaking through to something really loving and something that benefits you in the future. Yeah. Okay, so well, I'm going to stop the reading for now, and I wish you all the best, and I'll be back for Fridays. Okay, take care, you guys.